Hey guys, what's going on? It's Techno, and today we're here with our CPC Week 1 battle. Now, this is very exciting for me. Finally gonna get back to uploading my battles. And the first battle we're going to be having this season is versus the Dallas Starmy and Rob, or Rob Jr., PokeTCG Gamer 1288. He's an incredibly skilled battler, been on top of so many ladders, NPL Minors Champion, the most recent one, I believe. Yeah, I don't believe, I know. And he's also a very good friend of mine. He was one of the first people I met in this format, this community, and he's always just been a great guy, great friend, and I really look forward to battling him week 1. So if you guys missed my draft analysis, then be sure to go check that out, because that's where I go in depth on the picks that I get for my team. And as for the rest of this, we're just gonna hop into this right now. So Rob's team is pretty scary, not like incredibly scary, but well, it is incredibly scary for me to face. I feel like I do have a slight, but the reason I say it's not incredibly is because I do have a slight advantage in part of the matchup. So without further ado, let's just get into his team. So he decided to draft Celesteela, which is a very good first round pick, very solid Pokemon overall. Megalodios, which is just an overall overwhelming offensive Pokemon. Crocodile, very versatile Pokemon in this format, great attacker, great defensively. Suicune, an incredible wall, just so bulky, so hard to deal with. Mimikyu, very good sweeper slash revenge killer. Overall, very solid Pokemon. Salazzle, which is, it's fast and hits pretty hard. It's not the best in terms of coverage, but it's still very decent, especially versus my team. Heracross, very solid offensive Pokemon, physically offensive. Garbodor, mainly going to be there for stuff like spikes, toxic spikes, pretty solid defensively. Rhydon, it's a pretty good violent user, defensive Pokemon, gets up rocks, nice ground type. It's a good Pokemon, I guess. And then Electivire, which is a very good value pick in the last couple of rounds for being a Volt Switcher, as well as getting so much different types of coverage, which is very good for this Pokemon. So without further ado, let's actually just get into what I decided to bring for his team. Now, after the Mimikyu gets its disguise broken, Agility Ampharos, Mega Ampharos has the ability to just kind of run through his team. So that is what I decided to bring this week. Agility, Thunderbolt, Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast, that is able to hit his entire team, and Oko, basically everything. Nothing on his team can really take a hit except for maybe the Electivire and the Garbodor, maybe even the Heracross, but the rest of this stuff gets hit very super effectively. Focus Blast hits Crocodile super effectively, and then the rest, they lose to its dual stab. Salazzle can't take a hit. Mimikyu might be able to take one hit, but then that, like, says I can't get any damage off on it with any of my other Pokemon, so very solid Pokemon overall. I believe the speed is so that I outspeed, something with the Scarf. I think it was Scarf Heracross at +2 speed, so that's going to be very nice for me. Basically, just the idea is to get to +2 speed, and then just kind of run through his team. So the next Pokemon I decided to bring is defensive Gliscor with a lot of speed. Now the reason I brought this set is I brought 282 speed on this Gliscor because if you look at my speed tiers, there's no reason for him to run Jolly Heracross this matchup. So he only needs to run he should run, it's hard to explain. He can run Jolly Heracross this matchup based on my team. However, he only really needs speed for the Heatran, and then other than that, he's just not gonna like have much use for it. So here, 278 speed is very nice to hit over. And so what I did was I basically got a little bit paranoid with how much speed I wanted to run, because I thought maybe he'd speed creep something, speed creeping his speed creep for the Heatran. So I just ran 282 speed. I thought that would be pretty ideal. And then the rest, 248 HP, defense 136, Stealth Rocks, Aerial Ace, Earthquake, Protect. Like I said, this is a Heracross response. So I have Protect on there because I'm pretty sure if he brings Heracross, it's going to be Natural Gift Ice. And Natural Gift Ice gets popped after you Protect and essentially wasted. So after that, no use for it anymore. So that would be very nice for me if I got the Protect off and potentially caught him on that play. So that's going to be our Gliscor. Very solid Pokemon in this matchup. Hopefully it can do work. The next Pokemon we have is going to be our Salazzle response, being the Vaporeon. Not really much else to say about Vaporeon versus this team. It's like not the best, but it's not the worst either. So we have Scald, Heal Bell, Wish, and Roar. Roar is mainly there for stuff like Suicune, Celesteela, and Lottie if they all get out of hand. Then Scald, Wish, and Heal Bell just to be an annoying support mod. The next Pokemon I have on this team is a very, very interesting Pokemon. So we've got Nature's Madness, Tapunium Z, Tapu Bulu. Now I didn't mention this in my draft analysis, but Tapu Bulu is indeed my Z Crystal Pokemon. So that's mainly what I wanted out of this thing. I wanted to use Z Crystal the first week, but I didn't want to use Phytanium Z, because while Phytanium Z would be good for something like the Celesteela, it's not a guaranteed OHKO, even at +2 if it's defensive, which I expect it to be, and then it just doesn't, like, it doesn't also deal with stuff like Garbodor, or maybe even the Heracross if I need it to. Plus SD just isn't that great in this matchup, that's the wrong thing, I meant to pick this one. I run Nature's Madness Tapunium Z, so that's a clean 75% off on the Celesteela, and it's going to go really well with my next thing, if you can see that right there. I'm running Horn Leech, Mega Horn Superpower. The speed is so that I can outspeed no speed Suicune. Mega Horn is there for the Lottie. Horn Leech is just stab to beat stuff like Suicune. And then Superpower is there as my way of picking off the Celesteela if it's low enough without having to use another Nature's Madness. So, Tapu Bulu is a very nice Pokemon in this matchup, and it's going to go very well with Crobat, which is going to be one of my main win cons of this matchup, because versus his team, everything gets outsped and everything basically dies, besides, of course, the Celesteela and even the Rhydon. But Tapu Bulu being able to lure in and weaken the Celesteela, along with taking down the Rhydon and stuff, makes it just incredible. As well as being Suicune. So these two just go very well together, and I hope that they can do well together. So I've got Brave Bird, U-Turn, Roost, and Taunt. My speed allows me to outspeed. I believe it. It lets me outspeed something. I'm trying to remember what. Okay, yeah. If you wanted to predict me to creep his Lottie with something, because this Salazzle should not be running a lot of speed, there's no reason for it to, but if you predict me to creep his Lottie, then yeah, that was another idea I had. Plus, I just wanted the rest of the bulk. Just kind of didn't need, like, overwhelming amounts of speed, but yeah, that's why I have 354 as opposed to, like, 351 or 353. I don't think I forgot about the Salazzle in prep. I think I just realized that it wouldn't, be that intense to take on, because I do have the Vaporeon, plus he won't be running max speed whatsoever, or even enough speed to beat this Crobat, so that's going to be that. The last Pokemon we have is going to be my response to stuff like Mimikyu and Crocodile being my my Avalok. By the way, I should probably mention this, so this set allows me to also take a +1 Ice Beam from a Mega Lottie and do a bunch of damage back with the Mega Horn. So that was the main idea behind this set. It's just another Lottie response. So we have Avalanche, Rapid Spin, Recover, and Roar. Not much to say. This allows me to take a Draco from the Lottie even if my Sturdy is broken, which is actually pretty good for me. And then the rest is just in defense, because it still beats the stuff it needs to beat anyway. So without further ado, we're just going to get into the match and see how it plays out. And I actually done the matchup. I really thought I did before this battle, and let me just get that up right now. So we played this match on the base tech account, and let's see, it's right there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sweet. So sorry about that. So you guys are gonna see he brings a team of Suicune, Lottie, Celesteela, Crocodile, Mimikyu, and Electivire, which is a pretty threatening team versus what I decided to bring, just because of stuff like Electivire coming, which I didn't expect. Wait 1 sec. Sorry, I just took a drink there. Yeah, stuff like Electivire coming, which I didn't expect overwhelmingly. While it does do pretty well versus my team, as we're going to see, because my Ampharos is not defensive, it's agility. And then Mimikyu is just always going to be a threat for my team because of an overwhelming flaw I noticed. I don't have a Ghost Resist. I didn't mention that in the draft analysis, but not having a Ghost Resist could screw me over versus some mons, not others though. But yeah, that kind of sucks, but we can manage. And then as for the rest of the team, I kind of expected it. It's just pretty overwhelmingly threatening. So without further ado, I'm gonna actually get into the battle. We're gonna play it on normal speed and see what happens. I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna switch sides. And here, now we're gonna go. So he's gonna lead off with his Lottie. His eye to side, it's just gonna be in my best interest to lead off with the Crobat. I can outspeed his whole team barring the Scarfer. And if I expect something to be Scarfed, I'm just gonna switch right out of there because I can't really risk this Crobat immediately. However, he does lead with the Lottie, and I know this thing, of course, can't be Scarfed because it is his Mega. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna go right for the U-turn right here. And we're gonna do a big amount of damage to this thing. Not as much damage. He's definitely HP invested, but we do a big amount of damage. And here he goes for Side Shock, and I just go into my Vaporeon because I don't really need this thing anyways, and Vaporeon stops it from combining up. He has a crit, it's kind of unfortunate, but he probably would have 2-killed me with something anyway, so that's totally fine, it's whatever. Vaporeon is able to go down to 3, however, I can just go right back out into my Crobat, and I'm just going to click U-turn again as the Celesteela is going to come out. So right now we're not in the best position, but we're getting some nice momentum, which is going to be pretty ideal versus this team. So I'm just going to go right into my Ampharos because he doesn't know what I am. If he did know what I am, that would be a problem, but here I'm just going to go for the Dragon Pulse, I believe. I go for Dragon Pulse here, and that doesn't do nearly enough to where I'm comfortable with it. He's probably Assault Vest, maybe like a little bit of HP or special events investment. But here I go into my Tapu Bulu because it's a pretty safe switch in despite it having coverage, but it does manage to crit me, so that kind of sucks. However, I think I'll be able to get back all my HP somehow. So here, I'm in the back. I'm pretty far in the back at the moment, and I've got to start making some aggressive plays, like already, to start getting me back into this battle. So here, I'm just going to go right for the Tapu MZ, expecting him to go into the Celesteela, and I'm going to catch it right on the switch and get that Guardian of Alola animation off, and we're just going to do humongous damage to the Celesteela, and that's incredible. Now, I ran the calc. If he is defensive, Superpower was definitely not going to kill from that range. So I'm just going to switch out, go right into my Mega Ampharos because there's no way he's going to go for like an Earthquake or something. He has to kind of kill what's in front of him because it's such a big threat to the rest of his team. And Ampharos is just going to come in, get some grassy terrain recovery. And here I'm going to click Focus Blast, expecting a possible Crocodile switch in. Or maybe even the Electivire. So here I'm actually going to click Thunderbolt. And what we're going to see is he is not Motor Drive, but he's actually Vital Spirit. Something I noticed is here ACH just actually says I'm gonna go sleep, even though because this thing has Vital Spirit, it can't go sleep. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just thought I'd share that, but I actually don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just gonna come out here. I'm gonna go into my Avalon. Now, this thing could go for a flamethrower, but because of my heavy special defense investment, I'm not afraid of anything he goes for. So he just goes for another Ice Punch. He definitely expected me to switch out there, because I'm pretty sure he knows that I know this thing has flamethrower and stuff, but I don't. So here I expect something to come out, and I'm just going to go into my Gliscor, and that's going to be a great play for me, because here I can finally get on my rocks, and I can be put in a pretty good momentum gaining position. Now here goes for Ice Punch, and it does a lot of damage to me. However, Gliscor isn't incredibly necessary. It would be good to have it for the Mimikyu, but I don't need it that much. So here I go for Earthquake, kind of a misplay, because when I went for Aerial Ace here, you guys are going to see that after the Protect, I actually outspeed him with the Aerial Ace, and he just kills me with the Surf, so that's pretty unfortunate for me. But here I can go into my Crobat again. This thing just keeps on getting momentum versus the team, and here I'm just going to click, I think I clicked Brave Bird. Yeah, I clicked Brave Bird because at that point nothing was taking that hit, except for maybe the Suicune, definitely the Suicune, but I wasn't afraid of Suicune just because of the responses they have on the team. So here we're going to actually go into my main response right now, being the Tapu Bulu, because even at this range I can take any hit. And I was kind of afraid he'd go for an Ice Beam here, but at this point I don't really have another counterplay. I need everything else healthy, otherwise I just kind of lose. So I just had to go in there with Tapu Bulu and pray that he wasn't like offensive Ice Beam, because that would absolutely suck. And here he goes for Toxic and he misses. It does suck, but it's sort of justice for what happened earlier with all the crits on my Gliscor, maybe even my Vaporeon, because now I'm just losing responses to stuff like Mimikyu, which kind of sucks, but you know, it's fine. And here I just Superpower. to get big damage off on it. You guys see that like it wasn't going to do enough damage no matter what if I went for a little bit earlier. And here we're just gonna get put right back in a position where we have to switch, and here he goes for the leech seed, and I'm like, oh wow, that sucks, because leech seed just kind of makes this thing a whole lot more annoying for me. And while I could have roosted back up there, it really wasn't worth it, because I can't let this thing just get unnecessary recovery off. If he does, then that kind of just steals the deal for him. So here I know he's gonna protect, and I go for an agility, and that is kind of what's going to help me get like right back into this. So what you're going to see is I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt here. And here, well, I'm just kind of forcing switches at this point. Now I know he's going to go for either a double into the Mimikyu, or he's going to be Scarfed. I don't really see Intimidate Scarf being a thing, so I really thought the Mimikyu double was the best play. If I Thunderbolt here, I actually probably could have just won the game, because the guy's going to see he is going to go right back into the Mimikyu. But I just go into my Tapu Bulu, and that's totally fine. So here goes into a Celesteela, and I'm not going to mess around with this thing. I'm just going to click Nature's Madness, because it does go through the skies for the possible Mimikyu. And Superpower is going to come out, and we're going to get a kill with Tapu Bulu, so that's pretty nice. Now, here I make kind of a misplay. Instead of going for the Nature's Madness and keeping this thing really low, I go for the Mega Horn. No, I go for the Horn Leech. Yeah, I go for the Horn Leech, and that was probably like one of my worst misplays this battle. I really expected him to just try to kill me, because I could be pretty like not defensive on the special side if he had Ice Beam, but he probably didn't either way. It was just a really bad play on my part, but it's fine, I guess. Mega Horn's just gonna come out here, and here I just kind of click Nature's Madness, because I just want to get as like much consistent damage on this thing as possible. Mega Horn's not as consistent because it can miss a lot more than Nature's Madness can. So here I just go into my Crobat, as he's going to go into a Suicune, and now I'm in a position where I have to go into my Ampharos, and I have to go for the Thunderbolt, because if I don't go for the Thunderbolt, then something else can come in, and then that's not going to be good for me, and even the Suicune would probably live, and if the Mimikyu wanted to come out, then I had to try to catch that at that point. Here is my really awkward series of plays. Now, you guys are going to see, he goes to Bandit, and I'm going to go into my Avalugg, as he is going to fire off the Stealth Rocks, which make it so that my Crobat, which is now sitting at 36%, can no longer really come in on anything. He knocks off here, as I'm just going to go right for the Avalanche. Now, the reason I did that instead of Rapid Spinning and then recovering is because I really expected to taunt for some reason, but it didn't come out. And so I just went right for the attack, because I can't lose momentum, because if that happens, then I just lose the game a lot quicker. But either way, it was a bad misplay on my part, and that is what's probably going to bite me in the butt later on. So the Lottie is going to come out, and right now I am going to... Okay, this was a pretty big 50-50 from where I was seeing it from, but based on what I saw later, he basically always just clicked Draco, because no matter what, he was put in a position where he could just win with his the Mimikyu, because of how much damage he could do to my Avalugg, or potentially how much damage he can do to my Avalugg. And I'm gonna U-turn here, just to try to get some damage back off. And now we're 2-1, but the Mimikyu can just come back in, click Play Rough versus my team, and now it's just not pretty, and you guys are gonna see, I skipped through that turn because it's painful for me, man, but yeah, we lose that game. So it was a good game versus Rob, very close 1-0. I really could have played a lot of the parts a little bit better. There were certain plays that I definitely would take back if I could, but you know, I can't. It's just the way it goes. It's nothing I can really control. It was my fault for misplaying. No one else's fault, of course, but yeah, we're gonna try to come back next week. We play Chris, aka Togevar, next week, and he's going to be a very tough opponent for us, but we're gonna see if we can take him on. So without further adu, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really enjoyed making it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll leave Rob's links in the description, and you guys can check him out if you already haven't, which I'm sure most of you have. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.